She is one of the most beloved characters in the Street Fighter series, Sakura. She never backs down from a fight and is always ready to leave everything on the line. As lovable Sakura is, she carries a dark side that most of us didn't know of. In this episode, what is the dark side of Sakura? How was her character created? Also, the obscure tale of Dark Sakura and Akuma. Without further ado, let me welcome you to the Street Fighter-verse. Dark Sakura, also known as Sunburned, Sun-Tanned Sakura, originates from the Marvel vs. Capcom series, first appearing in Marvel Super Heroes vs. Street Fighter, as a secret fighter. This is a form Sakura has taken after accidentally being burnt by the sun, gaining abilities similar to users of the Satsui no Hado, except without the loss of humanity. Dark Sakura's appearance is generally the same as her normal counterpart, albeit with darker shade on her clothing. Her bloomer shorts are black instead of the traditional red. Her red hair gains a red hue similar to that of Akuma's, and her school uniform is black and gray, rather than the traditional blue and white. When she uses the Shungokusatsu, her eyes change from brown to red. The fighting gloves, headband, and shoes remain the same. In Marvel Super Heroes vs. Street Fighter, Dark Sakura is a secret character who utilizes a mixed moveset between her normal self and Akuma Evil Ryu, including performing the Hadouken horizontally instead of diagonally. Though Dark Sakura isn't a playable character in Street Fighter Alpha 3, she is referenced in the Japanese versions of the game. During her summer vacations, Sakura trained with Ryu on a tropical beach, learning many new techniques and getting tanned. Taking a break between matches while in the Marvel universe, Sakura laid down in a field and fell asleep. When she awoke, she found herself unusually sunburned. For the short duration that she had laid there, though slightly in pain, she proceeded to compete in the effort to defeat Apocalypse. However, not only did she find that her original fighting style had returned, but she was also even more powerful than before. Over the course of the events, her sunburn faded, and her fighting abilities returned to the way they were when she first arrived. This is the story of Sakura and Akuma. It starts in the Udon comics, Super Street Fighter Volume 2, Hyper Fighting, in the Round 1 section named Dark Sakura. The story starts in a very dark setting. Akuma is fighting with Sakura. As he throws a punch at her, Akuma says, "I have always known that, like Ryu, the Dark Hado resided within you, Sakura. Now, show me if it has awakened. Show me, as I have sensed, the seed of Satsui no Hado within you has germinated." The Satsui no Hado is the surge of murderous intent and is often called the Dark Hado. It is a dark energy-based force, the same force Akuma uses to garnish his powers. Akuma's only purpose in life is to find fighters strong enough to fight with him, even if he must awaken their evil being for the sake of his purpose. To think that Sakura might awaken her Dark Hado is unimaginable. As they are fighting, Akuma misses his attack to Sakura. While dodging his attack, she replies, "Never, Akuma. Master Ryu taught me better than to listen to anything spouting from your mouth." Sakura tries to punch Akuma and comes short. Akuma grabs her hand and throws her into the air. While throwing Sakura into the air, Akuma says, "You have the same potential that Ryu possesses. Perhaps even more, if you could only accept the truth wholeheartedly." The manipulation from Akuma's words, as he is trying to convince Sakura that she can even be more powerful than Ryu, sounds very familiar to the Star Wars, Darth Vader and Luke scene, when Vader tries to convince Luke Skywalker to join the dark side of the Force. As Sakura lands on the floor, she understands the heavy pressure she is in, so she says to Akuma, "You don't know anything about Ryu. He is twice the fighter you will ever be." In insight, Sakura tries to manipulate the situation to her favor by telling Akuma he is inferior to Ryu, a very classic tactic to break her opponent's concentration. Akuma knows this, and as she tries to take momentum and attack, Akuma blocks her hit and says, "You have grown strong under your master's tutelage, but you must have moved beyond your blind obedience to his teachings if you wish to ascend to a higher level." As he punches Sakura in the stomach, he says, "It is time for you to step out of Ryu's shadow and embrace the power he has been too naive to acknowledge." Akuma says words he lives by. The same situation happened with him, with his former master Gotetsu. He left his former master and his brother in order to search for his ultimate power. The only goal in Akuma's mind is ultimate power by any means. Akuma keeps on beating Sakura, to the point that he starts to question himself about Sakura, as he replies, "Perhaps I was wrong, and you're not yet ready to be enlightened by the Dark Hado. Perhaps you are weak, just like your master." As he finishes his statement, Sakura starts feeling high levels of anger and hate. Sakura's eyes are turning red as she picks herself from the floor. Akuma feels her energy as she rises from the ground, and he states, "Yes, feel the killing intent welling up within you, and its darkness washing over you. Tell me, how something Ryu proclaims to be wrong could feel so very right." Again, in this moment, Akuma gives some heavy Palpatine vibes in this part of the comic. As he comments, we can see Sakura using her power pose and throws a Hadouken to Akuma, in which he intercepts and calmly says, "Perhaps there is hope for you yet." Akuma, while throwing the same Hadouken back to Sakura, says, "But you have only had a taste of the Dark Hado. There is much left to learn before you will master it." He performs the Hadouken, hitting Sakura and hurting her on the way. As she is lying on the floor, she feels she has failed her master when she says, "Master Ryu, I've failed you." She feels the deep sadness, as she cannot believe she had fallen victim to the Dark Hado. Akuma's mind games debilitated Sakura physically and mentally. Akuma, while seeing Sakura defeated in the floor, he tells her, "No, it is Ryu who has failed you. You have felt the ecstasy of the Satsui no Hado, and now know that it is Ryu who has deprived you of the true growth. Is it not time for you to choose your own path?" Sakura rises from the floor and says, "No, I could never betray Master Ryu." As she stays looking around, she sees that Akuma has vanished from her sight. Sakura looks at her hand with a puzzled face. Is she looking with concern for her well-being? I think Sakura understands that that moment tapped in the potential for more power. Is she looking at her hand, maybe having second thoughts about the Dark Hado? She seems as if she had failed her master, but we need to recognize that her master, as she states, was also consumed by the Dark Hado. So, in a sense, he also failed when he gave in into the Dark Hado. In my opinion, what Akuma wants is for fighters like Sakura and Ryu to ignore everything they have been taught, and by only breaking the norm, they will achieve their higher greatness. I personally think Akuma sees the Dark Hado as a source of power that gives him amazing abilities, in which he wants other fighters to learn as well. Will we see Sakura as a potential apprentice of Akuma? Can Akuma be looking for his future substitute? Will she forsake her master? I will leave those questions for you to decide. From a video game perspective, I find it cool having a version of the Dark Sakura in future games. And if not a character, maybe she can turn into this dark version, while her V-trigger is at its full. In this video, we have talked about the influence of Akuma to Sakura, and how Sakura felt the power of the Dark Hado. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with our new theories and info. Thank you for watching. This was your Street Fighter host. Welcome to the center stage, our new Discord server. There you can talk with us, chat about current events going on in Street Fighter, information, theories, and lore. We'll leave the link in the description box below. We want to thank everyone for tuning in and becoming part of this Street Fighter community. We want to thank you for your positive comments towards our channel, because it only habilitates us to grow even more. From the Street Fighterverse crew, we thank you.